Hey there, this is Iman at Philly Wholesaler Chick and Real Estate Wholesaling Explained, and it's actually nighttime. It's actually morning time, right, Lawrence? We're recording this. This is like after midnight my time, not midnight Lawrence's time. But anyway, just real quickly before I turn it over to Lawrence Roberts is an investor. Lawrence does some wholesaling and he rehabs. He's down in the Mobile, Alabama area. And he's been investing since 2006, and he has a Berea down there in Mobile, Alabama, and has a whole coaching program and everything like that. So I'm going to turn over to Lawrence because Lawrence does some things. He has some things that he does in terms of lead generation that, you don't really hear a whole lot of people talking about. So I'm going to allow Lawrence to share with us, just to give us some background information, Lawrence, how you got started, and we can dive into to that topic.
All right, sounds good. The first thing I want to say, Iman, is thank you for this opportunity to talk with your subscribers. I really appreciate it. But my name is Lawrence Roberts. Oh, definitely, most definitely. My name is Lawrence Roberts, and I'm in Mobile, Alabama. And I've been investing since 2006, and I've done close to actually well over 100 transactions actually in that period of time. I do rehabs. I wholesale houses as well. I used to do subject tos and lease options. No longer do those. Ever since I got dragged into court, I stopped doing those.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun down here.
Right.
What else do you want me to tell your subscribers, Iman? I'm sorry.
Pretty much how did you, it's been a long night, folks that are watching this. Lawrence and I have been on here probably about an hour and a half, maybe by now. Longer than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So just bear with us.
Trying to set up. Yeah.
Right. So, pretty much, I guess, how did you get started investing, Lawrence? If you give us some background information about that and, how you got to where you are now.
Well, I started investing in around 2006, and the way I got, involved in real estate was I had a friend of mine in college, actually, who came back from the summer, and he started talking about this guy named Robert Kiyosaki. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Robert Kiyosaki, is that some type of steak sauce or something? But anyway, he's talking about this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He said, you got to read this book. I saw him speak in Houston, Texas. You got to read this book. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. So I actually I didn't read that book first. I had another friend of mine that came back that said, you got to read this book called Cash Flow Quadrant. Mm-hmm. So I actually read Cash Flow Quadrant first, and then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And, what we actually started to do was we started to play the game Cash Flow. His mom, my friend from Texas, his mom bought him Cash Flow, I think for Christmas or something like that, or for his birthday. And we started to meet once a week and play Cash Flow for like a few hours in the library. So we played Cash Flow for a while. And then he proceeds to tell me, he said, look, I want to tell you something. And I'm like, what? He said, I'm not coming back for next semester. And I was like, why? Your mom's going to kill you, blah, blah. He was like, man, we've been playing this Cash Flow game, and I've really researched this, and I even, internalized this, and I gotta just make stuff work, So basically what he did was he got out of school for that second semester. And what he did is he took a class from the RIA, I think it's called Rich Club in Houston, Texas. And he took a class on foreclosure investing, or pre-foreclosure investing rather. Mm-hmm. So basically the whole class was, you go and you get this investing list from a subscription type of thing on the web, and you find out the equity involved in like a home, and then you go and knock on doors. So that's what this thing was actually about. It was no direct mail, no bandit signs. It was just knock on doors type thing. So he did this for about a month. He didn't have any success. He'd been knocking on doors for about a month. Then all of a sudden, he ended up closing, I think, 2 or 3 deals that next month just by knocking on doors. Mm. And he called me up and said, "You won't believe it, man." He said, "I made, 15, 20 grand." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Mm. Excuse me. But dude was like, "No." So that got me thinking, that got my wheels turning a little bit. I was really, this was about 2001 or 2000, somewhere around there. So, I was involved in my program, my doctoral program. So I was like, man, let me finish, because I had already done like several years and I only had 2 more years left. So I was like, let me just go ahead and finish this stuff. So I finished the doctoral program, and then at that time I said I was going to buy my own home, and then at that time I was going to start to invest as well. So it's funny because I had like an LLC set up since 2003, but I didn't get my first deal done, I believe, until 2006, so around that time. So I think I'm like everybody else who just drags their feet. Mm-hmm. They want to set up all the structures and the entities and get business cards, and they haven't done one deal yet.
Right.
And I was that person. I was that person that they talk about that does all that stuff.
Right.
So actually, I bought my first home, and then a few years after that, I bought my first investment house to rehab, to flip. And I ended up losing $5,000 on that first house. And the reason why I lost $5,000 is because I thought that from playing cash flow, from talking to folks, that would give me all the education that I would, that I would need to proceed, And I was really wrong. And I lost $5,000. And what I tell folks is that was my tuition in the School of Hard Knocks. Mm-hmm. And after that time, I got some education. I went to a website at that time. It was a very popular website called flippinghomes.com. And it was catered by Steve Cook. And y'all have to excuse me. I got a cold a little bit. So.
Right.
But I went to flippinghomes.com. I started to participate on that forum. At the time, they had a forum where you can ask questions. I developed some friendships online, and I went to a couple of Steve Cook's boot camps. I think I went to a total of 4 or 5. And the funny thing is that every year he had a boot camp, and it became like a reunion, because you would see the same folks there coming to get the new and fresh, stuff. So from there, I think I made a couple of grand or 2-3 grand on my second deal, and it just went up and up from there. So my education was in direct proportion to my income increasing, so to speak. So as I got more exactly as to what I was trying to do and to develop, and what I should be paying for stuff, and how to wholesale and all that, stuff like that, my income shot up from there. So
you were saying
that's
education, investing in yourself. Was it, as you said, direct proportion to the kind of education that you got, right? Your income. Right.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
That's a very good point. So. Excellent point. You know what I mean? Not promoting anything, but that's an excellent point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I know we're kind of short on time because Lawrence, for those who don't know, he bids on HUD properties, and he's got some bids coming up shortly. So, but he does a lot of things, we were discussing prior to the problems we were having before, being able to record this video interview, the types of lead generation things that Lawrence does for his business. So could you touch on that? I know that you shared with me some things that, I guess you don't know, you don't think about it, like call fire. You know what I mean? And some other things. So, I'm going to let you share that with us. So.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, my approach now to the business has actually evolved from when I first started. When I first started, my approach was a lot of bandit signs, direct mail, so on, like and so forth. And as I've gotten a wife and a family, I had to actually change my business around my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm a real big proponent of having a business that is surrounded by your life. You need to create the life that you want to have and have that business service your life, not you service the business. So basically, at that point, I did not have the time to answer phone calls, and I didn't want to manage folks that were answering phone calls or whatnot from bandit signs, direct mail, and so on, like and so forth. So I changed my business, because I used to do a lot of stuff. I've done TV commercials. I've done billboards. I've done direct mail. I've done trying to knock on doors of pre-foreclosures. I've done flyers and the nickel paper or whatever. I've done a lot of stuff. But like I said, as my life evolved, my business had to evolve too.
Right.
So one of the biggest things that I actually do to generate leads is I tell people that if you're not in like an area that has like a RIA, one of the biggest things you can do is start a RIA. Now, a lot of folks like say, okay, why would I start like a RIA? Most folks in there are tire kickers, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not the case. What you want to do is you want to present yourself in the area that you're in as a authority figure on investing. And as a result of that, resources and people will come your way automatically. Now, not that you're misrepresenting yourself. People just perceive you as being like an expert if you run the RIA. And many folks that don't run like a RIA don't know this, but I mean, when folks think about wanting to like invest in like a city or town, most times they call the head of the RIA first. I can't count, on my hands the number of folks that said, that have called me up, a random call saying, look, I'm an investor from, Kansas. I'm looking to invest in Mobile area. What can you kind of tell me like about it? I'll be in town, let's say in 2 weeks. Can we kind of meet for, coffee or whatnot? And, that is one of the biggest sources, of finding deals. Something else too is that I announce and I tell folks that if they've got a deal that they cannot take down because they don't have, the resources and the education on how to take a deal down, come to me. I'll teach you and we'll partner on that deal and we'll make a 50-50 split. So that is like an indirect way to where you can have deals coming to you rather than you trying to search out deals.
Right.
I'm also a big proponent of research. Mm-hmm. I approach the business a little bit, from like the aspect of how a big corporation would approach a business. All right. If I see a product in Walmart and I want to sell that same product, I've got to find out how Walmart is getting that product cheaper than what they're selling it for to be able to generate a profit. So a lot of what I do is I find out who the investors are in the area. I might find out their name. I might find like an LLC that they own, such and such. And basically what I do is I do research on the grantor grantee, the grantor of deeds or whatever. Like our site is online. So I look up and see what they have bought in the past. What neighborhoods, how much they paid, what was the source of that lead. If you see an estate transfer a deed from one person to the next, then you know that person might be doing probate type stuff. If you see an auctioneer's deed from a foreclosure, then you know that person might be involved in foreclosures down the courthouse steps. And what I like to actually say is that when I see in trends, what I like to look for is trends. If I see three of a kind of the same person doing the same thing, then there's evidently a trend there. And there might be a trend that I might need to exploit, especially if it's in my same marketplace.
Right.
So let's say I look at it like an investor. Let's say I see that investor have done 15 deals for the last year. I see 10 of the last 15 deals have been foreclosures from the multiple listing site. And I also see that they're from the same person, the agent that sold it to them. I'm going to that person to become friends with that person because evidently they've got a pipeline of deals from an asset company that I need to get involved in.
Right.
So I developed the resources to be able to go and insert myself in their supply channel to be able to get the same product that they got. I'm also trying to search too. Was it like a wholesale deal? Did they just sell it to somebody else? Because if they did sell it to like another party, that next party can be my buyer.
Right.
Especially if I know they bought in, let's say, like a certain, area, then when I have a deal in that area for a similar price and in a similar condition, I know who to sell the property to. I immediately know because like a lot of folks say, well, you need like a buyer's list and whatever. I don't even have a buyer's list. I just know that when I get a good deal under contract based on what investors have bought deals before and the market is the same, of course, stuff actually changes, but I know I know I can sell that house. And it's been that way since I kind of started because I've never really had a buyer's list. I've had about 4 or 5 people. If I got deals at a good price, they'll buy whatever I have. Right. And I'm really a proponent of not spending time and money and technology and all the other kind of stuff trying to build a list. You spend the most time searching out and finding great deals, and the money and stuff that you need will find you. Believe me, people are drawn. It's like a magnet almost. All right, it's like look, you need to find great deals, and the money will just come to you. Sometimes I find great deals to fix and flip, and I get competition for money partners.
Mm-hmm. That's a good problem.
Now, exactly. You have like a certain set of folks that can't find like a money partner, but then you've got some set of folks that people are trying to compete to find like a money partner. The thing about those, the thing about that is that my deal was a deal they were salivating over because they knew it was a great deal, while most times that other person's deal is not a great deal at all.
Right.
So that's kind of my approach to this thing. I am a proponent of doing, of trying to search and to figure out first where I need to actually go and then take a pistol approach. If you see, for instance, 5 investors who have been very successful, you see that they're doing short sales, well, you might need to learn the short sale business, my thing is that it's finding out where the deals are coming from and inserting yourself in that same channel. And I'm a big proponent of that because no matter where I'm at in the United States, I can do that same thing and be successful.
Absolutely.
So that's just, kind of my like approach. I still do the same thing. I actually do, research. I take maybe a day out of the month every month, and that's all I do is research. And now that I run Daria, I know all the players.
Right.
So I do research with them every month. I see what they're buying. I see how much they're buying it for. Did they wholesale it? Did they rehab it? Of course, if they rehabbed it, where did they get their funds from? Was it like a money partner? Was it actually a small bank? Mm-hmm. Was it a hedge fund? I mean, is a hedge fund buying stuff? So from that, you can get your trends. And you just know like who to contact. Right. And you just call them up. Or you just send them like a letter. And I think that most people make this business complicated, and I think it's because the people that sell the informational products make it seem like it's complicated and make it seem like you got to do this thing one way. And I think that's problematic, especially for the newbie who has, what I coined shiny suit syndrome. Is they see lease options and they want to do that. They see rehab and they want to do that. They see wholesaling and they want to do that. And my thing is that, look, pick one or two. Don't go wide and pick 5. Pick one or two and go deep. Go like a mile deep instead of a mile wide.
Right.
There's people being successful doing all these things. The problem is you've got so much time in a day, and you need to focus. Focus your attention, focus your resources on one or two things, and just go deep with it. And you will be successful if you're doing the right things.
Absolutely.
So, that's just kind of my approach to this thing. So,
Right. Yeah, I mean, what I get from what you're saying, I'm just trying to keep an eye on the time here, Lawrence. We probably got like 2 minutes, but
oh, no problem. Okay.
You got to be strategic and intelligent. Oh my God. Sorry about that. You gotta be.
No problem. Is that your iPod?
Oh man. That's crazy.
Is that your iPod?
No, it's my iPhone. But listen,
okay.
This is real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect.
This is real life. This is the life. This is like non-scripted.
Right. I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me. Oh man, Rihanna. Okay. We got Rihanna going on here.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is unscripted.
Never. I know exactly. This is the point. So hopefully, those who are viewing it, you got a good laugh out of that. But hopefully, more importantly, other than Rihanna putting your name on it, okay? Put your name on the things that Lawrence spoke about here. So I appreciate it. I know you got to go. You got to put your bids in. We've been trying to do this thing for probably over a year now, Lawrence. But I'm super excited about having you come on. And I learned a lot, and I'm sure other people learned a lot too in this video. So. Again, thank you, Lawrence. Folks, if folks are looking to maybe get in contact with you, Lawrence, what's the best way to do that? We know Facebook, Lawrence Roberts on Facebook. Is there any?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Facebook is fine. Just like friend me on Facebook, and then we can start a chat or whatever. The biggest thing that I want to leave people with is just really focus. Focus on what you want to do is the first thing. The second thing is do your research. Walmart is not going to build like a Walmart or a building without doing their research first. They have a whole team that comes in and they spend thousands of dollars doing research to find out if it's a good location. Do your research on your place where you're at to find out what the players are actually doing to generate cash. And those are the biggest two things that I want to leave with folks, because I know that if you're new, you get, distracted, and, my thing is that at one point I used to get like emails from everybody, but guess what? I turned all solicitation like emails off. I don't care what they're offering. I need to go deep.
Right.
And I don't need to be distracted about, my promises and this and that, and, there's actually folks that have been doing this business for years without technology.
Right.
So don't think that you need certain things to do this business.
Right.
You have everything that you need inside of you right now.
Right. Absolutely.
You just need to find the strength, find the faith, and get the right information so you can do this business the way it needs to be done right. So that's all I have to say.
Just to add something really quickly, because again we're short on time, but I really appreciate the point that you made about the whole research and development, R&D as they call it, corporate America.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just to give you an example, give a little secret out of my own. I fanned up my city's fan page. I fanned up, a couple other, the Redevelopment Authority. I want to stay in touch with what's going on in the city, revitalization projects and stuff like that. I don't have time to sit and read a newspaper, but that's the way I keep in touch with what's going on. So you might want to do that. For those who are watching it, if your town, your city is on Facebook, is on social media, follow them. It's a very easy, simple way. You just, see the information in the news feed, just like you see your friends, to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in your area. So with that, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, Lawrence, thank you for coming on. This is Iman, that Philly wholesaler chick with realestateWholesalingExplained.com. Please be sure to visit realestateWholesalingExplained.com, which is a 100% content-focused blog, all things related to real estate wholesaling, where you will learn the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, I swear. So you won't get any garbage there. This is the kind of content that you get, will continue to get from people like Lawrence Roberts. So again, thank you, Lawrence. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.